You don't control if you make $1 million. You control the actions, the mindset necessary to do the things that produce $1 million. Hey guys, it's Mike with the Tactical Agents. This is episode 67 of the Tactical Agents podcast. This show is all about helping real estate agents and mortgage loan officers take a tactical, not traditional approach to growing a thriving business with increased revenue, decreased stress. If you'd like to stay in the know with any and all of our free resources, spoiler alert, they're all free. We don't have anything to charge you for. Our book is free. We don't even offer any paid coaching or courses or anything like that. So you can always visit tacticalagents.com. To get connected there for those free resources. Specifically, if you're a cop, veteran, or other public safety professional, you can always check out our nationwide project or campaign to help 10,000 of those people supplement or replace their income with a real estate business. Ten7project.com. That's TEN, the number 7 project.com. Today's going to be a little bit different, guys. Normally, it's anywhere from 2 to 4 of us, and I stress normally because the last 6 weeks have been anything but normal for us. I've been away on various trips, not even really business related, just enjoying my life. So I didn't want to work while I was on little vacations. And Chris has been growing in another one of his side businesses that's booming. Danny's moving from California to Texas, and Trey is Trey. So that said, what I've got for you today is a recent mastermind that I did for the 10-7 agents. I covered how to navigate challenging circumstances, not just in business, but in life, really, with a positive mindset, and even provided some action steps like in the moment that people did that you can follow along with, and we hope you find it helpful. Normally I like these episodes under 20 minutes, but this one is going to be longer. I taught for about 34 minutes, so maybe you can let me know if you like longer formats versus shorter, depending on where you're finding value, as we continue to learn how to better serve you through this podcast and the media on this channel, as we slowly but surely put the effort in to grow this thing. So without further ado, here's the mastermind replay, and we will see you in the next episode. And John Post suggested that we cover navigating negative circumstances, or we can say like challenging circumstances, with a positive attitude. So, or maybe what we could just call like a healthy mindset, right? So I sat down for a few minutes with that, and I want to be able to give to you guys five things today to kind of create a framework. This is by no means exhaustive. It's not a magical list. It's just based on some solid principles that help me. If they help you, great, and give you some action steps around those things. As always, I don't always say it, but I will preface it by nothing at all is going to change in your life and business if you don't want it to. It's the greatest challenge of any leader, any influencer, whatever, is that I cannot make you want something any more or less than you do. Like that is the piece of the puzzle. It's a piece of the equation that just can't be done for you. And if and that is the gut check, right? Because somewhere along the way, people began to believe, to think that in this life, they shouldn't have to face challenges. They shouldn't have to encounter difficulty, that they shouldn't ever need to endure suffering. And so at a 30,000 foot level, before I give you, some of my takes on this, is just that we need to reframe the entirety of the conversation around viewing challenges and viewing what I guess we could categorize as negative circumstances or bad circumstances as opportunity. We have to reframe the whole thing, because if your whole life is a series of this is good, this is bad, then you're constantly going to be battling against worry and anxiety or unnecessary stress, because you're going to want to be trying to stay in the good column and avoid the bad column. But the reality is who says that it's bad? Like, who decides that a circumstance that you're facing or going through is, if it's challenging to you, is in the end a bad thing? And so when we kind of view things that way, it can make things unnecessarily difficult. And growth is challenging on its own, let alone piling on unrealistic expectations about what that looks like, about what that is. Okay. There is no growth. There is no ultimate goal. There is no reward. There is no result that is rewarding without sacrifice and without difficulty, without overcoming, without challenges. It doesn't exist. Okay. That is not real. And so you have to wrap your mind around the big picture, that all circumstances that I find myself in are an opportunity for me to grow into who I can be at my best. Okay. So, in order to do that, I think there are a few things that you can do, right? Number one, you have to take responsibility for your everything. You've got to own it. You've got to take responsibility for your situation, and you've got to face that head on, right? If you accept responsibility, then that is in your control. A lot of times we feel something is chaotic because we don't control it. So let go of what you can't control and take responsibility for what you can. And here's a hard pill for folks to swallow. Where you are at right now in your life, in your relationships, in your business, in your career, if you're still on the job, whatever it is, where you are at right now is your responsibility. If you don't like it, you have to change it. You have to take ownership of it. No one else can do it for you. No one else can have a different attitude for you. No one else can have a different approach from you. No one else can put in the work for you. It is up to you. Is it a help to have a mastermind like this where you can be reminded of reality and truth and be encouraged in that? Is it a help that we've got every single person in the Zoom room and then times 5 at your disposal to reach out to and to encourage you when it gets difficult? Yeah, those are all great. But at the end of the day, you are the one deciding whether you're leaning into that support, whether you're putting in the work, whether you're taking advantage of the instruction that we provide. It's all up to you. You have to take responsibility. And a lot of times, the thing that is holding someone back from getting further faster is the fact that they're still playing the blame game about their circumstances now on somebody else. Stop doing that and take responsibility for your part in it. And sometimes it sucks to be down river from decisions you've made in the past, but you've got to deal with it and you've got to face that and own your actions now and in the past that got you here, because that is exactly what has gotten you where you're at. Your beliefs and the actions that flowed from those things got you exactly what you have right now. And a shift in that will get you something different in the future. It's not instantaneous, but you've got to take responsibility. You have to learn to begin to practice only handling what is in your control. You know, things start to feel stressful and anxious when you start worrying about things that are out of your control. And even in a real estate transaction, when things start to go sideways, sometimes you can't control it. Sometimes it's like, oh, well, that happened and that's beyond my control. I didn't know this. I didn't know this thing, or I didn't, whatever. I couldn't have predicted this thing. But you can only do what you can do now and moving forward. So own it, and then face that chaos that lies in front of you with extreme ownership. So a great resource on that is Jocko's book, Extreme Ownership. You can read that. All right. This matters a lot, because when you take ownership of your life and business, when you take ownership of where you're at and stop blaming others, you take the power, you take the reins over your life in that sense, right? Jordan Peterson talks about cleaning your room before you try to change the world. Like, just make your bed, man. You know, like, it's just like, which I don't do. I actually don't make my bed. My wife loves making the bed. I think it's pointless. I don't make the bed. We're the only two that see it. I don't understand the point, but that's a whole other ball of wax. um, so here's an action step. Sometimes when life is feeling like a little overwhelming and chaotic, take something that's small and then reorder it. Take control of it. Take responsibility for it. Maybe it's just a room in your house, or or a drawer in your house. I know this sounds crazy, right? But you could take something that's disorganized and chaos, and then, like, just take the 10 or 15 minutes and fix that. To do something that reminds you have the ability to deal with some things that are within your control, right? And we've said this before. You'll hear it again. We drastically overestimate what we can do in 30 or 60 days, and we drastically underestimate what we can do in like a year. Like, your whole life can be different in a year from now. It won't be that different 30 days from now, but a year, it can be drastically different. And so set some realistic actions that you can control. This is the same thing about goals. Well, I want to make $1 million. You don't control if you make $1 million. You control the actions, the mindset necessary to do the things that produce $1 million. So focus on taking responsibility for what you are in control of. Yes? Cool. Number 2, pursue meaning, not happiness. Pursue meaning and not happiness. And by that, I mean, don't get too hung up in the circumstances, right? Don't get too hung up on your feelings, how you feel about something. Oh, I feel happy, right? Or I feel sad. Happiness and sadness are temporary facets of our emotional spectrum, right? Very often something meaningful can be extremely challenging. And so we have to be able to be willing to pursue meaning, even when it sometimes means suffering in the short term. Again, I don't know where we learned the idea, or where maybe you adopted the idea that suffering is inherently bad, that challenge is inherently bad. But can you think of anything that's of deep, significant weight and meaning and value in your life that hasn't come through challenges? I mean, think about it. And so Why do we spend so much time trying to avoid those things to seek temporary happiness when the greatest things in our lives have come through difficulty? And so uh, we need to pursue meaning because happiness is a byproduct. It's not the goal, right? When your actions are aligned with something meaningful, you are better equipped to endure hardships because they become part of a bigger picture. This is why in the Tactical Agent Academy, we start with what? Man, craft a compelling vision for your life, something that is extremely meaningful to you. Because what is meaningful to you may not be meaningful to me. It may not move me, but it might move you. But you have to have something bigger that, man, it's got some gravity to it. It's got some weight, it really sticks with you. It moves your heart, your mind, your soul, right? uh so don't chase the fleeting feeling of happiness, because I would say you would rather be satisfied and not just happy. You would rather be satisfied in that what you have done has meant something. So your action step there is, I really want you to reflect on your values, right? I want you to reflect on your values and identify at least one area where you can move more toward meaning. Maybe that's in a relationship, maybe that's in your business, maybe that's in some other area of personal development. But I want you to begin to connect some things about how you can move towards something that's more meaningful in life, right? And connect it to this compelling vision. If you guys are not at some point in your day playing a movie of your future that's meaningful to you, then I can understand why you're struggling to get through challenges. But you need to be able to really replay those moments, those future moments. And what happens is we look at our future selves connected to something meaningful, and our now selves begin to move into that. It begins to push us in that direction, right? So pursue meaning. I cannot emphasize enough how important a compelling vision is for your life. All right. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be one sentence. It can be 18 paragraphs. It can be 8 sentences. It just has to be deeply meaningful and moving to you. All right. All right. Number 3, strengthen yourself by voluntarily embracing challenges. We kind of alluded to this earlier by saying, like, challenges are opportunities. What some may consider bad or negative circumstances are opportunities for you. So find a strength in voluntarily embracing them, right? Like, face them head on. You will grow stronger by voluntarily doing it than being so overwhelmed that you're forced to deal with it and you struggle through it. You need to willingly take that on, right? You need to shift your mindset to say, I am going to willingly pick up challenge. I'm going to beat challenges to the punch. I'm going to face them head on. That's where I'm going to meet growth. That's where I'm going to meet my future self, is in facing the challenges voluntarily. So, this matters because it's when you confront this willingly, instead of like running from challenges, instead of trying to avoid pain and only seek pleasure that's temporary, you can develop a sort of like psychological resilience and an extreme level of competence, right? People talk about developing thick skin. You can develop sort of like a really efficient practice and skill of growth when you willingly do this, right? It's like going to the gym, guys. When you or exercise in general. What happens when you do, if you can do 20 push-ups, what happens if you do 120 push-ups? Somebody tell me what happens. What happens to my chest muscles when that happens? Besides looking glorious. Unmute yourself. Answer me. I'm asking.
It's swole.
It gets swole, right? Yeah, it gets it it hurts, right? I'm going to be sore the next day. If I normally can do 20 and I do 120, I'm going to be sore. If you go and bench press more than you ever have, you're going to be sore. And when you do that voluntarily, you can actually begin to see growth. You understand? Like, to get somewhere different, to have lasting change, you need to do it voluntarily. If someone else is forcing you to do it, if you're just drudging through it, then it won't last, right? So you have to figure out becoming capable of handling more by going into discomfort, uncomfortable situations and circumstances and challenges on your own. Like, you got to want to do that. So an action step that you can take is, I want you to, you know what? Let's do it in real time. I want you to take the next 60 seconds. Okay. Where's my apps? There we go. Apps. You know, I like my music now that I have this tool. Okay. Uh, let's see. What did I top essentials? No, funky. Get funky. Okay. We're going to get funky with this. Take 60 seconds. I want you to just right off the top of your head, I want you to write down three things that you have been avoiding doing, that you just like, man, I just don't want to do this difficult task or deal with this situation or this conversation or whatever it is that you've been avoiding. I want you to write it down and take 60 seconds. Give me at least three. Go. All right. Give me one off your list. I'll start calling on you, or you can unmute yourself and share in 3, 2, 1. Where did everybody go? There's we go.
One of them is my ask. I've avoided asking, reaching out to my close friends and asking them, hey, do you know anybody that's interested in buying a home? I can't bring myself to do it. I don't know why.
Yeah. Okay. So stop. Okay. One thing, number one is, let's rephrase that. Who do you know that's thinking about moving in the next year? Who do you know that's thinking about it? Let's reframe that around that phrasing. Not, do you know anyone interested? Okay. That can kind of be salesy. So let's shift the idea of that around, hey, who do you know? And I would say this, I want you to pick 5 people that you've not asked, Claudia, and I want you to express that exactly like you just expressed it to me. Hey, fill in the blank, friend name. Listen, I have been avoiding asking you this because I just like struggle with making sure that I'm not being salesy, but I'm also looking to grow my business. Can you help me? Will you help me? Yeah, of course. Okay. Who do you know? Fill in the blank. Just stop thinking about it, stop procrastinating, and just do it. I would do it right after this meeting if you can. Like, just go do it. Just pick 5 people on the phone and just do it. Who else has got something on a list? Unmute, go.
One I'm working on, I need to do is the military relocation professional certification. It's only a 6-hour course, discounted through NAR, but I've been putting it off. So this weekend, it needs to get done.
There you go. And listen, Brian, I'm going to give you an action step off of that, because information, especially like a NAR course, without any type of practical application is completely useless, right? It's like trying to make a baby when you're by yourself with lotion and a Kleenex. Okay, it's not going to happen. There's not. You need more components, right? So the action step I want you to take is I want you to, if you're going to do this NAR course, I want you to break the NAR course down into whether it's the 3 things you need to know, the 5 things you need to know, the 27 things you need to know about military relocation. And you reach out to me after you do this course. I want you to listen to this course for the purpose of coming up with those bullet points. What are the key things that people need to know, right? What are the most surprising, the most shocking, the most helpful, whatever? Listen to the course and go through the course with an eye to that. I will help you in Canva. You need to create an ebook, and then you have a lead magnet that you can put out there to people that say, hey, I just completed this course, and here are the 7 things or the 17 things that I learned about relocation for veterans. Who wants the guide? And it's a free guide. Boom. You start building your email list. You're adding true value, and you're off to the races. Deal?
Deal.
Cool. And then reach out
Thank
for
you.
help. I'll help you with that.
All right. Thank you, Mike.
One more person. Give me one thing off your list that you need to get done that you've been avoiding. I'll start calling names in 5, 4, 3, 2. Let's see. Mike Smith.
So I've been really dragging my feet on finishing the actual Tactical Agent Academy. I keep coming in here and hearing you guys talk about like actually doing real estate, and I'm still trying to learn, and it's been a busy summer. I keep finding excuses, so I really need to get on that.
Heck yeah. Yeah, put yourself on a plan. Like, make it manageable. Make it, because consistency is going to outpace, swinging for the fences. That's my personality. My personality is a swing for the fences. My personality is I'm doing the Tactical Agent Academy on Saturday. I'm doing the whole thing, as opposed to I could do the Tactical Agent Academy for 1 video a day for a month, just get after it.
Yeah.
All right. What one thing that you can do. Some people respond well to reward. Some people respond well to punishment. Pick something for yourself. Come up with a reward for completing it in a particular time or a punishment for not. Find an accountability partner. Who wants to be Mike's accountability partner? Somebody raise their digital hand. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. I still got 2 more points. Chris Bosson. All right, Mike, Chris is your accountability partner. After this, like, I don't care how you get a hold of each other, figure it out, chat on Workplace. I want a reward for Mike and a punishment for Mike to complete the Tactical Agent Academy in the next 30 days. All right. The punishment should probably be to donate $1,000 to Kamala Harris's campaign. Deal? Deal. All right. Good. Done. Okay. So see, guys, this is how it is. You just got to like identify it and then take the action. You already know, most of us already know what we need to do. We just have to identify it. We can't run away from it. We can't ignore it. We need to stare at it, look at it, be honest about it, take ownership of it, find a way to connect doing it to something meaningful, and then voluntarily embrace the suck. Like, get after it. We have to do it. There's only one way through I think it was Seneca, maybe. Stoic philosopher said the obstacle is the way. Maybe it was Marcus Aurelius, right? There's a variety of options, but the obstacle is the way. You have to go through it. So get after it. Makes sense? I'm just wanting to connect these dots. When you identify the challenge, things that are weighing you down, own it, connect completing it with something meaningful, and then voluntarily do it. All right, number 4, as far as things that you can do to pursue navigating challenging things in a healthy mindset. Sort yourself out before you judge the world. Another way I could say this that I think would be better for you would be comparison is the thief of joy. Stop comparing yourself to others. Walk your own path, right? Just work on yourself. Don't worry about the rest of the world. Because especially, we hop in here and we hear wins, and maybe that win intimidates you. Maybe that, and then again, sidebar. This is actually a really good sidebar. We have grown up, and just like we have been sort of conditioned to think that the best things in life don't come with challenges, that a good life is challenge free, and that's our goal. Our goal is to get a challenge free life. And those that are successful at a high level will laugh at you and laugh at that because they all know it's not true. Study biographies of some of the most successful and influential people in the history of humanity, and they will all laugh at you from the grave. That's just not real. But yet we believe it somehow. We plant that seed in here. Another seed that we plant is that equality of effort equals fairness and equality of outcome. That's also not true. Two people can be putting the same level of consistency, right? Like, let's just say they're having one frog combo a day, and one person in 3 months gets 3 clients, and one person gets no clients. And we think, well, that's not fair. And then we begin to compare ourselves to the results of others, right? And that makes us almost incapable of celebrating other people's wins because we feel intimidated by it. But there is a freedom and a positive impact when you can celebrate everyone's wins, that you can begin to celebrate your own too. And you got to stop comparing yourself to other people. You have to sort yourself out. You've got to figure it out for you, right? What your numbers are and what your consistency needs to be to get the kinds of results that you want. Hey, that's got to be for you. And I've seen so many people come out of the gate strong in this business and then fizzle out. And I've seen some people struggle, and then something finally clicks and boom, they're crushing it. But it's not just like this zero-sum game of fairness. That's just not how life works. And so you need to sort yourself out in that sense and stop comparing yourself to others. Don't judge yourself based on others, right? You are on your path to grow your business in ways that are meaningful to you, right? So learn to focus on those things that you can control. What can you do? What level of activity can you increase? If the results on the other side aren't where you would like them to be, since you can't control results, you can only control the actions. Come back and say, okay, what can I shift about my actions? What can I do to control my attitude and my approach? Okay. So yes, we're all following the tactical agent system, but no, that doesn't mean that you're going to get the same exact results. If Brandon Brewer and Jessica Bullard and John Post all do the same exact activities for 3 months, they're not all going to have the same exact results, other than the fact that if they're genuine about it and it's meaningful, they will all have grown in the ways that they need to be growing. And this comparison game, whether you're comparing yourself to somebody in this Zoom room or in the project or freaking on the internet, you could be looking at a stranger's YouTube channel who's quote unquote successful or whatever, and you could be comparing yourself to them or comparing yourself to where you wish you were. Stop it. You are where you are. Own it, and then start taking action that might shift that. But don't compare yourself to others. Only compare yourself to you. Okay? Get 1% better every day for yourself. All right, lastly, we cannot forget that we must work out of gratitude. We must work out of gratitude, because even in difficult times, gratitude is a powerful lever to shift our perspective. Gratitude pushes us, it tends to push us toward humility, right? To accept those things that we cannot control and to focus on what we can, and to be grateful for what we have that we don't deserve, and for what others have helped to provide for us. Gratitude shifts the perspective. It is a powerful lever. Gratitude, as gratitude increases, our feelings of entitlement or victimhood go down. These mindsets, as gratitude goes up, we become more rational. We make better decisions, even in negative circumstances. We can more clearly navigate challenges when we're operating out of gratitude. Gratitude is sort of like the light on the ship. So you guys ever watch Deadliest Catch? It's like, I don't know why I still love that show. It's nothing different ever really happens ever. It's just people catching crab. But if you ever see, like, in the middle of a storm in the Bering Sea and all the lights go out on the ship, dude, like, that's very hard to navigate the challenges of a stormy sea with no light on. It's going in the dark. Gratitude is like this powerful illumination on the ship that you're trying to move in your business. And even when the seas are challenging, it's hard to navigate, you have a light on that allows you to move through it. And so gratitude is just its importance cannot be overstated in the ability to face challenges and difficulties.